Warning, if you're easily offended, triggered, or considered a snowflake by your friends, you're listening to the wrong podcast. The views and opinions you're about to hear are raw, unfiltered, and without any regard for political correctness.
I'm offended.
Shut up. Longtime friends Scott, Will, Devie, and Jay dive deep into issues that other podcasts are too scared to talk about.
No topic is off limits.
All opinions are welcome.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Unlike some other popular panel shows, you know what we're talking about. These four friends have no agenda other than to tell it like it is. This is the Big Divide.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Coming to you straight from the Chicagoland myself, almost like the North Pole. Scooty Claus and his three elves. The Big Divide. Welcome to the show. Let's do a quick roll call to make sure all my buddies are out there playing today. Is Will Montez the guy representing every Hispanic person on the planet there today?
I am here, freezing in the North Pole.
And we'll find out from the feedback if you did a good job handling your role today. And is Devie out there? My friend, my black friend from the East Coast.
I'm here, Scoot. I am here, man, and it's not cold at all here in DC.
What's the temperature?
It's about 60 something.
What?
It's in the 60s.
I get a motorcycle right now. And then finally, covering the chosen people is the
the Jewish elf is in the house.
There you go.
It's
man.
A little weird. I mean, should elves working with Santa be Jewish, or should they be selling the toys to Santa? I don't know.
I don't know if Santa has any preference about religion.
Okay, just a thought.
Question. And technically, based on the way that you look versus I look, you should probably be Santa.
That's true.
What's your big beard?
I have more the Santa look than you do.
All right, welcome in, everybody. So, Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas edition of The Big Divide. And again, this show, The Big Divide, was put together and conceptualized because we got four different folks from four different cultures talking about stuff. And our hope is that we can bring differences together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We want to start off with some Christmas stuff.
I'll jump in and talk about Christmas. Let's have the Jews start that, right? Well, my wife is not Jewish.
You know what? I didn't think about it. Why would we have a Christmas? How about a holiday show? I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you there, Jay. Wait a minute. Let me start the whole show. Hold on. Let me start the show. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. All right, here we go.
I'm so easily offended. Yeah. And I've been celebrating Christmas for over 40 years. So I get that. And I love it as a celebratory time. Even when I was a kid, when we didn't celebrate it, I was obviously aware of it. Love the Christmas lights. And, you know, as I got to celebrate it with my wife and her family, there's, great tradition around it. Very festive.
Yeah. I
love it. It's one of my favorite holidays.
What do you celebrate, Deves? I mean,
Kwanzaa and Christmas.
You celebrate Kwanzaa for real, or are you just saying that?
No, I do.
How do you celebrate Kwanzaa? I'm interested. When is Kwanzaa? What's the date? What's the meaning behind it? So here you go.
See, I knew you were going to ask me.
You go and get your Kwanzaa card retracted if you can't answer these questions, right? Come on, you brought it up.
It's an African celebration instead of Christmas.
So is it celebrating a birth? Is it celebrating some religious, some spiritual?
It's like it was a African tradition. It wasn't like a birth. It wasn't celebrating birth and tradition.
You better be so right about this, so we gonna get some feedback. We gonna have a mailbag full mail. You screwed that one up, dude. There'll be the auditions. Will, what's your Christmas? I do have a speed round that has some Christmas stuff in it, but. What are you celebrating?
For me, Christmas, it's my mom's cooking. I miss my mom's cooking. She would put los pasteles together, and it's an annual dish that we get once a year, and they look like tamales, right? They're bigger, but it's really good. And when she makes them and the acapullas, you just
pig hours. So making the dishes, we were on the cheese grater, right? So we would all get a cheese grater, and we would have to peel all the bananas by hand. The machines were not invented back then, right? So by the end of the day,
hold on a second, bro. You need a machine to peel a banana? Because I peel bananas every day.
These are green bananas, right? Raw green bananas.
So you're telling me that is it tougher to peel a green banana than it is a yellow one?
Oh yeah, much tougher. Right, okay. You got to put them in hot water. That hot water in the bathtub. She would put it in the bathtub, and you got to put gloves all over your hands because it's going to stain all your hands, and it softens the peel. Then you start peeling them. But now you got to just imagine a cheese grater, the metal cheese grater. You got to take and hold that banana with your fingers and get down all the way to the core of it. So you're making the masa. And by the end of the day, your hands are all bloodied up and cut up, because the cheese grater would affect you, right? So that was the way we would do it in the old days. Now you have a machine where you peel the bananas, put it in the machine, it grates everything, and the masa comes right back out. Right?
Did the kids look forward to it, or did you guys cry about it? Because
we look forward. Here's what I look forward to.
Do you do it for like 5 minutes? You're like, hey, the thrill's gone. Now it's work.
Well, she made us work. My mom made us work, right? And she's very delicate. You know how I am, Scott, right? Germaphobic.
You are delicate. All right, let's break into the show now. Let's finally get to the stuff. And each person's bringing a topic to the show. We're going to talk about that topic until you hear a minute out. You're going to hear this. And then when it's time to end the round, just like a boxing match, you're going to hear this. And that's when we'll all go back to our corners, no matter how bloody we get. All right, so I'm going to start with the topic, my topic first. I got a clip to play to start this one off. It's and I want to get you guys' take on this. So if you could do me a favor, Mr. Producer, hit it.
These Democrat elites, they don't seem to care at all about COVID. They go out, they flout the rules, they say lockdown for everyone, but not for me. And Newsom gets caught dining out with a bunch of friends, including medical experts who are telling you can't work, you must stay home. The people need to know what's happening in these places.
Yep. So, and I'm going to just add to that. We just had an incident here in Chicago where an Alderman's a restaurant was caught open, even though there were lockdown orders here in Chicago. Right. So, for me, I don't know. And this is my thing on it. So you got Newsom who's locking stuff down, but then going to parties with the medical people that said it should be locked down in California. How do they keep getting voted in? What the heck is going on with people and, the obvious? Anybody get any take on this? Anybody want to weigh in on this for me?
Yeah, I'll weigh in on that.
Yes.
The obvious, do as I say, not as I do, right? That's what they're preaching out there, but it's happening in liberal cities. So how up are these citizens in these democratic cities like New York, Portland, Seattle? They're following these outrageous laws that these politicians are putting into place.
And can I say something really quick here? Let's establish when you say it's a liberal city, it's only liberal because they voted liberal, right? So the mentality is, hey, we like this lockdown, so we're going to vote these people in so that they can tell us what to do while they're not doing what they're telling us to do. I don't get it. Like, I'm appealing to the citizen right now. I'm not appealing to that elite person that you're put in the office. Even on the Biden vote, right? I had somebody on Facebook say, look, it wasn't about Biden. Maybe 80 million people just hated Trump. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, Trump motivated 150 million people to get out and vote. That is amazing. That guy. I mean, that's historical, right? Yes. Even you said it, Devie. I was listening to the show last week. You're like, well, Biden is mentally unfit to be president, but I think it was the hate for Trump. So you're suggesting that the hate for one dude drove people to destroy their own lives, right? So I hate one guy, so I'm going to destroy my, or I hate the ideas of one side. So we're going to put Newsom back in so he can tell us what to do, and then go out to dinner with his medical experts, and then defy the orders he's keeping us down with. here in Chicago, the mayor says, "Hey, everything's locked down," and an alderman has a restaurant that stays open. Right. So these are the kind of things I'm like, I don't know, like, what the heck is going on here? Are we so divided that we just want to be right, or do we want to get it right to live a life? That's my challenge.
Nobody in positions of authority are interested in getting it right. I say nobody. I'm sure there are some, but clearly not many. This is not about getting it right. This is about taking positions and taking elitist attitudes. Look at all the people that are violating their own dictums. It's ridiculous. And at this point, for anybody to violate their own rules, they have to be utterly stupid. They know they're going to get caught, yet they still do it. What's her name? Dr. Birx was found to have gone to Delaware over Thanksgiving. Dr. Birx, of all people. Give me a break, but it's justified for her because she was preparing a property for sale. Hey, come on.
But what's going on, Jay, is what you said last week. Blatant. And the media is not reporting it. The media is not reporting it. They're getting away with this. The politicians in liberal cities, and I say liberal cities, are getting away with this. They kept, Biden in the basement. And he was elected, supposedly, as president. Never campaigned or anything. Never took a question. Him and Kamala. And they got elected, supposedly, and the media hid it from us. Now, if you go down,
this is all on the Democrats. All of this.
Let's go down to Florida. Hold on, I will answer your question. Let's go down to Florida.
Hold on a minute. Devie, name a Republican that has defied the orders that they have then set upon their citizens. Name one.
I can't name. I can't even name.
So you're like, it's all Democrats?
No.
Well, then,
no. Listen to what I'm saying. You're suggesting that all of this whole pandemic and the lockdown,
you know what?
And
you're not
the mask is. I'm getting to understand. Will is suggesting that all of this whole lockdown across the country is caused by the Democrats. That's what he
suggest that at all.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
He's saying, just like I said, the topic, they locked down California, but the people who said the lockdown should happen are then going out and partying. The governor, a Democratic governor, and 3 of his experts that said it should be locked down were caught at parties, no masks, after they told everybody they couldn't go out. Mayor here in Chicago, Democrat, right? The alderman, Democrat. Hey, we're locking you down. Hey, but my restaurant's open. Come on out.
Yeah.
And also the mayor went to go get her the beauty when everything was locked down.
These are facts, right? And we're not saying that the reason the pandemic is because of the Democrats, even though I think what I'm saying is these people are telling us we got to be locked down, and then they don't lock themselves down. Name a Republican that did it.
No, I got it. I'm with you on that. Okay.
Well, maybe Dr. Birx. I don't know if she's Republican or not.
Good point. And I'm not trying to make it Democrat or Republican. I'm trying to make it more elite. Does that make sense? Even, like here's my challenge with America today. And maybe it's just because I'm paying more attention. I don't know. But even the people I think should be maybe investigated and indicted for things that happened throughout the last, 6 years. Right, in the bureaucracy, they're not getting it is a 2-tier system, right? Where it's bourgeoisie and then the proletariat.
I'm just saying, you go to Florida, it's open for business. Gus is down there and he goes, wow, this feels normal over here. And Scott and I, we went out to Sturgis, South Dakota. It was open for business, right? We followed the 6-foot rule. Okay. But, nobody had a mask on and life is normal. And it's being proven that, it doesn't work. These lockdowns don't work, but they want us to lock us down, not for the virus, for their own means.
Well, I don't think it's back to normal, though. I don't think it's back to normal when you say it in a sense, because we're not normal. However, I do agree with you. Like this restricting people's movements, this locking us down without any real cause, without any real solution. I think both sides are getting it wrong, because we're caught in the middle of this. So what do? We're in the middle of this, regardless of what side you're on.
Okay. All right. Ding, ding, ding. That's it. Back to our corners.
Back to the corners.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. So that was my topic. Who's got one?
The topic that I really wanted to bring this week, I just felt like it's not with the holiday season that we got coming in. I'm gonna hold off on it only because I don't want to lighten the spirit of what we're going on. I was going to talk about systemic racism. So just to all the listeners, we're gonna hold off of it just because I want to stay with the holiday.
You don't want to be
spirit.
Devie Downer. That's what you're saying.
Why would it be? I mean, look, I don't know why that would be Devie Downer.
Yeah, no, because I just feel like right
who
now
talked you up? Listen, man, what happened? You were bringing that.
Nobody talked me out of it.
Hey, Devie's an adult. He can make his own decision.
Don't worry about him, Jay. Don't worry about him.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about.
You
know what?
I'm gonna
be me right now.
See, there you go. You stop being.
I'm gonna be me. I'm about to be me. You better let me unleash me.
What Scott is trying to implicate is
now
that
he going telling himself.
Jay,
here it comes.
Yeah, no, you trying to say Jay talked me out. Jay
you know, right?
No,
you know what
thing.
The topic is right now? Yeah, I don't want to talk about a topic because somebody told me not to talk about it. So go. Let's talk about Devie right now.
Nobody did that.
I love it.
So be quiet for a minute. There,
then explain. Wait a minute.
So what I do want to talk about is to stick with what the holiday spirit is. At what age we're talking about different cultures and different beliefs, and we have different things how we celebrate the holidays. At what age do you explain to your kids that hey, Santa Claus Santa Claus is or isn't who we have them to believe, or
at what age you are, or at what age the kids are?
What age the kids are? At what age the kids are?
I think 32.
Can I help you out with your topic here?
If I said no, you're still going to help it. So go ahead.
How about this? What age did each of us stop believing in Santa, and what happened? Because there was an occurrence for me. There was an occurrence for me where I mean, Santa might be real, right? Maybe just because I stopped believing, that's when he stopped showing up. I don't know, right? So, but there was a time when there was a moment, an incident where I was like, Santa's not real? Do you remember that time? Because it's a big deal for some kids, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That is a better posed question. So I like the way you pose it. So
all right. So I'll start off. I was 8 years old, right? And my brain is, I'm still an analyst, and like I'm analytical now. Like I like a good argument if you can't tell. So I like pulling stuff apart. I mean, so Scooty Clouseau. It was 8 years old. We had Christmas. I opened the stuff from the family. I opened stuff from Santa. Going, Santa, look what Santa brought me, a Lego set. So I had this Lego set that Santa had brought me. And then I was looking at Christmas pictures later on in an album my mom had put together, like they used to do. And I saw the Lego set on my mom's bed unwrapped in a picture that she had taken in her room. Okay. And I'm like, and it was that moment. I'm like, Mom. And she's like, yes. You see this picture? That Lego set right there I got from Santa. Why is it on your bed? And at that moment, it was that moment where I was like, it was like the walls came crashing in. I was like, Santa's not real. Santa's not real. You bought that Lego set. Santa is not real, Mom. And then she's, then you know what she told me? She goes, don't tell your sister.
Devie, now you know why he had to change that question around.
Yeah. No, I get it too. But it's great. So for me, it was I was 8 years old as well. So I wanted this bike, man. I wanted this bike. You got the pegs on it. You could do little tricks on it. I was all into that. And I'm the youngest of three boys. And so my older brother wasn't living with us, but my middle brother was. And my mom was like, single mom, and we didn't have a whole lot. But my mom always did the best that she possibly could. But I really wanted this bike. And my mom was out working, trying to get enough money to get this bike. And I didn't know this at the time, but she said, if you don't get the bike, you're not going to be disappointed, are you? And I said, well, why wouldn't I get the bike? Like Santa always gives the good kids what they want for Christmas. I said, I know I've been good. And so my mom is she's having a real hard time with it. And then finally she just came and she said, well, Santa may not visit us this year. And I realized the only reason why Santa wouldn't visit us if she couldn't buy the bike. And it clicked for me. I can't get this bike because you don't have the money to buy it. So that means Santa is not real. There is no Santa. And then my mom said, fine. Black kids don't need to be believing in Santa Claus anyway. That was my mom. That's what she said. And
that's interesting. You just made it cultural.
I'm just telling you, man. Hey,
but it's an interesting take, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because, the images of Santa, what do we see? So that's why my mom said that. So she's like, it's time that you stop believing in Santa anyway. You just can't get the bike. I ended up getting the bike that year anyway because one of my uncles came through.
Did it restore your belief in Santa, or you're like, nah, Santa not real?
No.
Because your mom already told you, right?
Yeah, it just restored my belief in the family.
How old were you?
8.
How old were you?
8.
I was 8 too. So I was 8. You were 8. Who else? Come on.
Well, my DNA won't allow me to believe in Santa Claus, so I never had that issue. I think that also explains why I am probably the most socially adjusted individual on this program. But I'm curious to know, guys, I'm hearing 8 as an age. Is that about the typical age where you think people come to that realization?
I'm not done with you, though. Are you suggesting, okay, you're going through Hanukkah, right? Right?
Yeah.
You're going through Hanukkah and you go to school and you're hanging out with other people.
Oh, we sang Christmas carols at school. Pittsburgh Public Schools.
So, and everybody's like, hey, Santa's coming. You see the Santa shows, right? It's on the little claymation stuff like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff like that, right? Okay. Yeah. So there's got to be a belief. Was there a question for your parents like, oh, how come Santa doesn't come to my house? You ever had that question?
You know what, Scott, honestly, and this is the truth, I don't remember. And I was sitting here thinking about that. I must have believed that Santa Claus was real at some time because you watch all these, Santa shows on TV and so on and so forth. I don't have any recollection of that at all.
Your parents weren't like, well, here's the problem. He's not real because he believes that Jesus is the savior, and that's not.
No, they never did that. They never did that. They didn't do that. Wow. That would be so cruel. No, they didn't do that.
Let me tell you what everybody else believes that's not true. All right, Willie, you get the end of it.
I have no recollection, and if I got to take a guess, here's the reason why. I'm the baby of 5, and brother number 4, my brother Magaro. He was so blunt. He would tell us it doesn't exist. Right? He's 3 years older, and he is just tell it like it is, and he probably has spilled the beans early in my life and say, hey, don't believe in Santa. It's all crock of BS, right? That's how direct my brother was.
So he just ruined it for you. No, you didn't figure it out. He ruined it for you.
There was no believing in Santa Claus for me, I guess. Yeah.
Were you crushed? Were you crushed about it?
No. We were poor. So food, that's what we look forward to. Food and just getting together.
Skinning our knuckles on some cheese graters, making some green bananas
there
in the bathtub. All right. There you go. Good turned into. Look at that. We created a topic for Devie. Save his butt again.
Oh, there you go.
Second week in a row.
No, not at all.
All right. Who's got a topic? Bring it, baby.
I got a topic here.
Okay.
I got a topic. I was going to talk about the Supreme Court, but I'm going to give that a rest for 2 weeks in a row.
Man, you guys are all backing out of the good stuff.
No, it's good stuff, but this is also good stuff. This is really rare.
It might not be timely. It might not be timely next week, bro. Think about it.
Well, this is extremely timely because I'm talking about what's commonly known as the Christmas star or the double planet, and the fact that it's visible right now in the southwestern sky, just shortly after sunset here in northern Illinois, and it's the first time it's appeared in 800 years. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the I'm going to call it the virtual alignment of Jupiter and Saturn. And I was really disappointed last night because it was so overcast where I live. I couldn't see anything.
That's right.
And I understand we'll have about 4 days to catch it on the southwest horizon. And the last time it appeared was March 4th of 1226. And the next time we'll get any kind of a glimpse is another 60 years. And then after that, the year 2400. So this is a pretty spectacular celestial event. And I just think it's cool.
I'll have to be 112 by the time it comes back. So I better, the clouds, and that was my problem yesterday. I'm like, dude, I want to see this so bad because I want to see it, And there were clouds. I'm like, what?
Well, I'm hoping we'll have a shot in the next couple of days. Hey, Devie, you're in D.C. Did you even know about this?
No, not at all.
All right. Well, now that you know, I don't know what your weather's like there. You got to get out and check this out for us. Take some pictures. Sure. And then do I have this right, guys? Because we're talking about Christmas. Is this what is commonly known as the Christmas star? Is it speculated that these two planets were in alignment when Jesus was born?
Is that what you're suggesting? Like this is what the Northern Star?
No, that's just a question. Why do they call it the Christmas star? Was this taking place when Jesus was born?
Good question, dude. I wasn't there. Okay. Maybe you were. I mean, what was it like, Jay?
Well, I was very young.
Wow. What did you bring? Did you bring a drum, Frankenmyrrh? What'd you bring?
I brought myrrh.
I brought myrrh. You were already a wise man back then. You weren't like a little drummer boy.
That's right. I brought Murray Rosenberg. We called him Myrrh. Yeah. People think that was a spice, but it wasn't. It was a guy.
Hey, Jay, you look great for a guy your age, though, man. You look great.
Thank you. I feel like the 2,000-year-old man right now, Mel Brooks.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's happening. Will, you got to take on the. You didn't. I didn't get a chance to see it, even though I wanted to. Will, you got anything?
Yeah, no take whatsoever.
You don't care about that?
I do care about it, but I wasn't aware of it. And now that you said that there was clouds, so.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think would have been better, Supreme Court or stars or planets? I don't know.
Oh, that was good.
I don't know. Just trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, Will, what do you got, baby?
Going back to COVID, right? In the new COVID bill, they put aside $35 billion for green energy. Okay. And this is legislation for wind, solar, and other power sources. Okay. While containing the use of a potential planet warming chemical that is used in refrigerators and air conditioners. So this is something that Obama wanted to pass through the Senate, but never introduced it because it will never get passed. But now they're taking advantage, and Rahm Emanuel was the one that said it, never let a crisis go to waste. And if they're going to give $600 to, individuals throughout the United States of America, but yet they're going to take advantage of COVID to now implement COVID change policies in there. How do you guys feel about this?
They could have done $600 to every American for $190 billion. They didn't need $900 to do it. This is, you know what this is? This is welcome to the Green New Deal, folks. We're in charge now. Things are changing. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And they're proposing lockdowns for climate change. Not only COVID, they realize that keeping us locked down, they have more power over us. And we buy into what they're telling us. And this is what Scott said earlier. Where these leaders are not following their rules.
Does anybody care where this money is coming from, by the way?
Do we ever?
Look, where the GDP is so out of whack right now, we're at right now, it's 120% debt to GDP. 120%, right? Whereas like in the 90s, the debt to GDP was 34%. We're at 120% debt to GDP right now.
And traditionally speaking, that's the tipping point right there.
That's it right there. We cannot climb. That's a no climb out of it. Time for the reset. The central banks have won.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how on whatever side, both sides, it's always interesting when they need money for something that they want to push. We always seem to find ways, no matter where it comes from.
Oh, don't put the we in there. I would say they, right? And
no,
that's
I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the politicians. They always find a way to get the money that they need for whatever they want to push on both sides. But then If it's something that is directly for the American people, like right now, there's so many people, and it doesn't matter what side you're on, there's so many people hurting right now financially. And yet we have these long drawn out discussions and debates, or where is the money going to come from and who's going to get in, what it is going to be for, and all this kind of stuff. And yet that doesn't happen when it's like, if it's something, we need to go to a war for something, or pushing, like I say, their own agenda. We always seem to find money, and we never question where it comes from.
We do. You keep saying we. I don't know. I don't have a bank account.
I'm talking about as the American people as a whole. So
that's my problem right there. Like, you know what? I don't even think it's a we anymore. I think it's a class thing where it's like they're making decisions that are affecting the country financially. I think they're including the lockdowns in states, right? Versus saying, hey, how's this thing going to work? And what's the death rates? And is this like the flu's at worst? Nobody checked that out. They're like, nope, it's an instant lockdown. Let's just crush the economy. We don't care about your business. We don't care about your livelihood. We don't care that you're going to be depressed or lose your job or lose your house. We don't care. This is what we're doing. And it's not like, oh, we're not doing this. You are doing this, right? So in my world, and then the other we and they, or they and us, is the divide, is the absolute divide, not even around politics, but on emotional decisions about people. And again, most people are like, yeah, I'm voting for Biden because of that guy over there. It's not because I like policies. Most people that I know, and I think Willie brought it up last week, but it's been proved in some of the conversations that I've been having lately, that there's low information voting going on. They're just listening to a news channel and say, hey, this happened. I'm like, how do you know? I mean, we had our friend, the guy that I put in the mailbag this week in a group text that we constantly have going on. He's like, he posted up an article. I actually read the article, listened to the video, and I'm like, you realize that, I mean, maybe you misinterpreted this. He's like, well, I just read the headline. I'm like, oh my God, you read the headline. I put time into the article. And here's my point. I'm like, I'm digesting the news that you're sending to me. So you're wasting my time. And all you did was read the highlight, the headline, because it was sensationalized. And you like, oh, yep, that speaks to my emotion right now. I'm going to send it to Dan. It says to Will and Scott. And I'm like, I'm losing my faith in humans making good decisions based on information. That's what I'm losing faith in. I'm losing faith in the leaders that are making bad decisions based on information. I'm losing the citizens that are lining up behind leaders because of emotional decisions. I don't know, man. It's a weird time.
Yeah.
Well, the stimulus bill that was passed was thoroughly examined, right? Over 5,000 pages. They all had 2 hours to read it.
Sure. Just like Obamacare. Hey, we'll know what's in it when we pass it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in talking to friends and family, the reason they're against Trump, he's racist. It's all emotion. Okay, what makes them racist? They can't answer. They don't just can't answer.
They start calling you names. Oh, you're just like they don't want to engage with me. I want to talk about friends and family too, and they'll listen to the show. They don't want to engage in me in intellect, right? In an intellectual.
But you know what? I think that goes back to what Scott. I think you said this a minute ago. People don't take the time to read and learn. I'd like to do a lightning round for the four of us. How many news articles do you read per day? Devie?
Maybe 2.
Scott?
Dude, I'm consuming podcasts.
Okay, Will?
Like I seriously, I have 5 podcasts. It'll be 5 hours a day that I'm listening. If I'm driving, if I'm working out, if I'm doing something, if I'm on the computer, I have a podcast going on and I'm always listening to stuff. Does that make sense?
I got that.
And a lot of listen, let me just preface this. And a lot of those podcasts are digesting multiple news sources, right? So it's almost like it's filtering down to me. A lot of news is coming my way through different filters, right?
I get it.
Yep.
Well, 5 hours a day is a big investment in news.
That is a big investment, right?
Will, how about you?
4.
And I estimate that I am reading, and I mean reading, about 25 articles a day. Now, how many do you think the average individual reads?
2, like me.
No, I think it's less than 1.
TV. I think, to be honest with you, some of the stuff that, like, I don't know. I'm not up on that. Generous.
Yeah, but you see, that's fairly typical, and I think that's why people were siding where they side, because it looks good, it feels good. But it's not based in good, solid, dare I say, science.
No, exactly.
I'm sure there are some other people who are probably on the other side. They probably do invest a lot of time, because like one of the two that that I listen to, I mean, they do a lot of research. So I'm sure there's that side.
I'm sure there
well.
are.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are some.
Can I say one more last thing?
Yes,
The
please.
bell-
No, the bell is
bell
ringing.
rang.
The bell
Yeah,
is
Hit
ringing.
it, dude. As long as you're not,
Just-
Willie monologue.
Just really quick. I saw an interview to Dennis Prager, and he said something very important. The left, there's no common sense. And when he said that resonated right there and then, because they're all on emotion and they're not at all on logic. And this is how they spread their agenda.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a cultural war, right? So they're bringing up emotion, like literally, it's psychologically, it is programming, right? They're like, all right,
Yeah.
how do we get
that is a pretty broad brush, though, to say the left is all emotional. I agree that a lot of it is. I hesitate to paint with that broader brush.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at the time. I'm okay with this. Let's talk about this first, just a second. And I feel this way. You guys can go around really quick and say how you feel about each of this. In my world, and maybe it's because I'm biased, I don't know. In my world, my conservative friends tend to be better listeners, less emotional, and like to talk about what's going on. Versus my liberal friends, or my left-leaning friends, tend to abandon argument quicker and go to name calling and are making fun of. I don't know.
You just summed it up for me right there.
Yeah, I think it could be on the other end too. I could see that being the other way. I've heard that said too. I mean, I guess it's just all about how much you're invested in it and what you're investing in, what you're talking about. So,
okay, I'm going to jab here. I'm going to jab here. Okay, I was looking forward this podcast, right, with Devie bringing up his topic.
Yeah, I was too.
Last week,
thank you, Jay.
Right, last week you said
you're welcome.
One question. Okay, you said one statement. Now you guys know how it feels to be black, and I just asked you one simple question. What do you mean by that? And you could not answer. And when you couldn't answer, that's emotion. That's not logic. Now, if you say, hey, listen, we can't sit in front of the bus, right? We got to sit in the back of the bus, right? On the way here, I saw several lynchings and people were hanging from trees. Now, if you say something like that, right, that is factual. But that's not happening. And when I asked you that and I didn't get not one response from you, it's like, oh my God, it's just rhetoric, right? It's just rhetoric. And I don't mean to come in off on you, Devie. That's not what I mean to do here, right? You hear these politicians on the left, systemic racism, but they can't give you any type of example on what they're talking about.
And they're trying to feed an emotion. I mean, seriously,
Exactly.
They're getting votes. They're getting votes. They're getting money. They're getting paid based on how much vibration of emotion they can bring out of somebody, right? Even Trump. I'll tell you what ticks me off about, and maybe you guys have experienced this. I don't know.
Say if you,
I donated, right? I donated to the Trump campaign. Okay, there you go. So I donated, and then all of a sudden, now the election's over, and now they want you to feed their defense campaign or hey, they're coming after the election, right? Like, and I'm like, because I've never done that before. I don't know if that's normal, if you guys have ever experienced that, but they're still grifting money, right? Even after the election for causes, and I'm thinking to myself, man. They want to raise, and each text is raise the emotion so that we can actually fund our defense fund or our save the country fund. And I knew from last week what the topic was, and I'm kind of ticked off that when I got on this podcast today, and somebody says, well, I'm gonna, that's a little heavy of a topic. I'm gonna go light. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was looking forward
again.
to
That
it
was
too.
my decision because again, I wanted to stick with.
You sure? You sure it was your decision?
Oh, you are so bad, Scott
I'm not
Rowe.
bad. I'm not bad. I'm honest, boys and girls. That's all I want. I'm going to say this because because the first thing that Devie said.
Decision. So
the first thing that Devie said. Now he's actually going back and he said, "Well, I was talking to Jay and Jay suggested." I'm like, what the?
I did not say suggested.
You know what? Here's another thing. I hate Jay Devie. You said a sentence that goes, and we, and I'm like, no, you mean they. That's what I meant. That's what I said. I'm like, that's not what you said. So I'm you and me are going to sit down and listen to these podcasts.
Did I start this conversation with that you suggested? I did not start the conversation.
You did not. That's what Scott
I did not
heard.
start that.
He's like, I was talking to Jay. I was talking to Jay. Maybe Willie was on.
I heard it.
Oh, thank you. Something what you
I was silent.
Scott,
but
you
I
just
heard
said
it.
you just
Whatever,
said that
dude.
I said Jay suggested. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
I did not say
and Jay
that.
knows it. Jay knows it, and Jay will be honest about it. Jay, what did you suggest to Devie about this holiday show?
Senator, I have no recollection of that conversation.
God, see, I'm pleading the fifth. That's total guilt right there.
No. There you go.
Look at Tristan interjecting a nice little holiday song. Have yourself a merry little Hanukkah. Okay, so listen, we got to get to the speed round here. Merry Christmas, everybody, by the way. The big fight. That's going to be everybody's Christmas table this year, I'm sure. It's going to sound like what we just went through. All right, so mailbag. Listen, I want to apologize to all the listeners. And seriously, we like you guys more than we like ourselves and appreciate you more than we appreciate ourselves. We didn't get to the mailbag. I want to apologize. My fault. I didn't see the mailbag until it got too late because of pre-show discussions. So we're going to hit it next week. So we want some great questions, some great topics in the mailbag this week. I'm looking at them going, oh, those are so good. But we got to get to the speed round. So, and then we got to finish up the show because it's only an hour, man. I'm like, I like this. I'm even when I'm fighting my brothers from other mothers, I'm still having a great time. So here's speed round. This has become my favorite part of the show after one episode. We'll see if it sticks after this one. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm ready.
Speed round, baby. Speed round. Okay.
We need a ticking clock or something.
Yeah, you need something to calm me down. I'm having an interesting day today with you both.
It was just like a family discussion around the table.
Hey,
that's
settle
all
down.
it was.
Speed round. Number one, favorite holiday tradition. We already heard Willie, so he don't get to say nothing. He's bananas and cheese graters. Okay.
Bad interpretation.
My favorite tradition. And it's ending now because of I'm aware of Santa Claus. My favorite tradition was we would have somebody come to the house in the middle of the night. My buddy Steve would play Santa for Matt and Mason, and the faces, and every single year it was something huge for them. And it's ending because Matt is now 15. He's like, yeah, whatever. And Mason's like, he still believes in Santa, but we didn't do it. We didn't do it last year, but it was one of my favorite things to have him sneak down and see Santa he did such a great job. Steve did. So, all right. Anyway, that's all. Who's next?
Favorite tradition for Hanukkah is latkes, which is also potato pancakes. Favorite Christmas tradition? Christmas lights.
Awesome. Devie, give us something. You get to weigh in.
Favorite tradition is we always get the kids new PJs, and they absolutely love it until this day. Like, even we don't do a whole lot of celebration and stuff, but the kids still like getting their new PJs. So that's still exciting. That's a tradition for us.
All right. Question, speed round number 2. Way off the reservation. Roswell UFO crash. Does the government have bodies? Do you believe a UFO crashed? And do you believe that the government has bodies from that crash?
Yes.
Or for anything?
Yes.
Who's that? Who is that?
Yes, that's Devie. Yes. Yes, I believe it. I believe it.
I got to stop right there. Because last week you said, well, I don't know if they're here or not. I don't know if they got here because they got to get here the same way we got.
Well, because you just said it was a crash, so now I'm believing that. Yeah, you said technology, so
last
I'm
week
okay.
You were on here going, nope, I don't think they're here, and then I bring up a crash, and you're like, yes, they got bodies, they've been here.
Yeah,
because
you mentioned
who are you?
Will help you when you said
Jesus
the technology. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about the technology.
So in 1 week you converted. Next. Who's next, Willie?
Well, because I believe they exist. I believe they exist.
Right. Unbelievable. I'm dealing with a psychopath.
I think something happened in Roswell, right? We know about it. So I think they have something on it.
I have no idea.
What do you think, bro?
I really don't know. I'd love to believe it, but I don't know.
I'm way in on it.
Do you know what pushed me more toward thinking it might be true?
Yeah.
Is what I heard very recently, that the Israeli government was actually in cahoots with the American government working with aliens.
I've never met an alien, but I believe it. I'm out of nowhere. I'm a believer. Okay. Number 3. Have you anybody watching football these days? Why or why not?
I was, but it's disappointing. My team sucks bad.
So you're not watching football because your team's terrible.
They just lost again to Tom Brady. Blew another lead, so it's horrible to watch.
Chicken Hawks. All right, Will Montez.
Not watching. I watched the Bears. A friend of ours has Lou Gehrig's. He comes over, and we're there just to support him because he's deteriorating very, very quickly. Other than that, the NFL, the NBA, the kneeling stuff, that's not me.
Yeah, I think I haven't watched an ounce. I used to be in some fantasy football leagues. I haven't watched an ounce of football. The only time I watched football is when I went over to your place, right, Willie, the Charleston place. Yeah, that was it. That's the only. Yeah, I watched more college this year than I have NFL.
Yeah, I swore I wasn't going to watch because of all the political nonsense, and then I ended up watching the Bears and the Steelers.
And listen, I don't care it's BLM or whatever, but if they're like, hey, we're going to support Trump, I'd be like, you shouldn't be doing that. Politics should not be in sports. I don't care if it's left, right.
On the field.
Doesn't belong on the field. It's entertainment to get us away from that craziness. That's all. All right. 4, is the GOP turning their backs on Trump? Yay or nay? Is that a good move?
Yes, they are. Mitch McConnell's got to go. The establishment's got to go. And Trump has done a lot. And for them, just to give them give them their backs on him. No. Bye.
Okay. Jay?
The party, by and large, is turning its back on Trump, and shame on them.
Jay? Devie?
Yeah, they are. And it goes to show they could care less. It's all about power for them. That's all it's ever been about. So. Yeah,
I say they are, and I don't think it's about power. I think it's about I think it's just about media. I think it's about media. I think it's about their self-interest, self-serving interest of each politician wanting to get back in their seat. They're like,
which is power.
So they're asking us like, man, what should I do? They're asking their advisors. All right, here's a good. Here's a second question. Here's a follow-up question. Did Trump inadvertently start a new party? Should he run with that under a different banner? And if he doesn't get inaugurated, should he run 2024 under a different political party?
No, he should not run under a different party. He should reclaim the Republican Party because it's hard to get in on a new party.
All right.
He might, though, with his followers. He might. He could.
Okay, there's a could. Jay's like no, and Willie. Oh, I heard him.
I think he should create his new party. What he's done to motivate the American people, the progressives,
on both sides,
right? And awesome, awesome.
He's like Howard Stern.
If there's ever a time to create a new party, now is the time.
That's where I'm at. Look, if there was ever a time to create a new party and take 75 million voters with you, would be now for the next election.
But I thought you guys said we already had several different parties.
Well, we do.
Remember when okay.
We do. I mean,
why is he going to create?
I don't know. What, dude? But we know that none of them would matter more than something that Trump could put together. All right. Okay. Let's go with California. 1 million signed on the dotted line to recall Newsom. Is Cali going red?
No, it can never turn red based on the Constitution. They have changed the laws in California, made it hard for a Republican to become governor ever again. The people are uprising, though, and they're realizing, you know what? The hypocrisy of these leaders, it's got to stop.
Jay.
California has been red in the past. It could happen again. Is it happening now? I don't think so. Does Newsom have to go? Apparently, Californians think he does.
Okay, I say this. It has been red in the past and deep red. But I think that, again, like the Trump thing, if there's ever a time where California would go red, it's the waking up of Californians going, wait a minute, who we listen to and what the heck are we believing in? So I think I can then go purple for sure. All right.
Yeah, I agree with purple.
Okay. All right. Pete Rose, Hall of Fame, yay or nay?
Ooh.
Yay.
Yeah. I think he served this time. He's done. He served this. He did the crime. He did the time. Let him in.
Willie?
He's the greatest that ever played, but in his denial, years, he had the opportunity to come clean, and he stuck to his lies. I think nay.
The Hall of Fame, if we define fame as fame, could be fame or infamous. It's just how well known you are. I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame, whether they want to put that in there like, hey, dude, this guy is so famous. He did this and did this. Put him on the wall. So it's a museum, right? You're walking through to the Hall of Fame. He's a part of baseball, whether it be good or bad. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Deny his baseball prowess?
Exactly.
It happened.
What are you going to do? Right. All right. Favorite vacation spot? Anybody? Tell me what your favorite vacation spot is.
I'll see this week. I'm going to Miami. I'll be in Miami for Christmas. So
you're suggesting you've never been anywhere in your life? Come on, bro. You've been on vacation. Where's it at now?
Until I got out of the Navy. I mean, let's just say Singapore then.
Okay, Singapore would be a great place to vacation then. I mean, you got some shore leave in Singapore?
I used to live in Singapore.
Oh, there you go. All right, so it'd be a good place. Okay, Will Montez.
California, D.C., New York, not Puerto Rico.
It's the only place where he's been. He's been Chicago.
It's beautiful. La Isla Encanto. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Como tu gato.
All right. And when I go out there, I get to eat all the good stuff. Oh, my God. Viva Puerto Rico.
My favorite is now Sturgis, man. I could spend 2 weeks out there, no problem, riding like crazy. I will, till I die, I'll be in a wheelchair in Sturgis. All right, every year.
That is an awesome place,
wheelchair on a motorcycle.
All right, and then finally, my last question here, the last one. It's not personal, it's business. It's not personal. Everybody on the show, it's not personal, it's business. If you have to replace one of us to improve the show, who and why?
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. If I could sing, I'd sing it to you, right?
Everybody can ponder that in the
only thing we all agree on, right? We all agree on that.
Man, better left alone, eh? All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a great holiday.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
May Santa bring what you want. And remember, check us out. Happy holidays. Check us out at thebigdivideshow.com, bigdivideshow.com, bigdivideshow.com, The Big Divide on Facebook. We'll see you guys next week. Boys, have a happy holiday, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
Same to you guys. Crank it up, producer.
I wanna wish you a Merry
My God, I'm gonna wish you a Merry My God,
That is horrible.
This has been The Big Divide. Don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of unfiltered and unapologetic conversation.
Done and done.
And of course, share this episode with all of your friends. Well, maybe not the sensitive ones.
You apologize right now. Do you have a question, topic, or opinion that you want to hear discussed? Go to BigDivideShow.com and tell us all about it.
Or simply look up Big Divide on Instagram or Facebook and send us a message.